And look, I know this bill doesn't have paid sick leave that these rail workers and frankly every worker in America deserves. But that fight isn't over. I didn't commit we were going to stop just because we couldn't get it in this bill that we were going to stop fighting for it. I've supported paid sick leave for a long time.
Has me shaking my head. The President of the United States, who did and still does have within his power to make the barons, if you will, the oligarchs of the railroad industry do the right thing by the rail workers, is at a press conference saying, oops, I couldn't do it, but hold on, it's not over. Maybe it's not over, but for these workers who are suffering and continue to suffer, it is a big betrayal and a big slap in the face. And this is going to have repercussions and consequences, not just for rail workers, but for all workers in this country. And then President Biden had the audacity to comment on gas prices and the economy. Take a look at this.
How soon should rail workers expect sick days?
Oil and refill the strategic reserves, Mr. President?
As soon as I can convince our Republicans to see the light.
As soon as he can convince the Republicans. Some of you may be old enough to remember that when President Biden, or then Mr. Biden, was running for president, one of the things that he said he would be able to do better than any other candidate, and especially as he dug into Senator Bernard Sanders, he said he would be able to get the Republicans to basically bend to his will, that he had that kind of experience and that he could get them to cooperate. Where heretofore, that has not been the case. And the best time to show whether or not he could do that was on behalf of the rail workers, and it was indeed an epic fail, especially when we get to the United States Senate. So let's take a look at this headline: Senators help donors derail paid sick days. The rejected proposal to provide rail workers sick leave would have cost the rail barons just 4 days worth of their recent profits, according to financial reports. And this reporting is coming from The Lever. The US Senate voted on Thursday to deny 125,000 rail workers a handful of sick days that would have cost the equivalent of just 4 days of recent profits made by senators, railroad industry donors. Again, the owner donors are in absolute control, and we cannot be delusional about what is happening in this country. This right here is the ultimate. Let's take a look at this. The cost of paid sick days for this year, roughly $321 million, would be less than half the amount that a single railroad tycoon, Warren Buffett, funneled to his family foundation just last week. Let's take a look at this headline as a reminder. 1 day of Warren Buffett wealth gains could fund 15 days of paid sick leave for rail workers. Buffett's railroad firm, BNSF, scored a huge win when 43 senators blocked paid sick leave for exhausted railroad workers and passed legislation preventing workers from striking. The Senate vote followed the Biden White House effectively pouring cold water on the efforts to tie paid sick leave to the bill, shutting down the rail strike, declaring in a press briefing that the president, quote, does not support any bill or amendment that will delay a bill that's getting to his desk by Saturday, end quote. Underline it, underscore it, bold it, exclamation point, put it in a message, in a bottle, on a train. So it is contradictory to what you just heard the president of the United States saying. The Senate did exactly what this president wanted them to do. Jordan, I'm not confused, but there may be a few other folks still out there confused.